So we're all wondering where Elizabeth Warren is. Where is Elizabeth Warren at? Why is she not endorsing in the race? She's supposedly the progressive who supports Medicare for all and canceling student debt and all this stuff. Instead of making an endorsement for Bernie Sanders, instead she's on Saturday Night Live messing around, having fun as we're literally the world and the country. And that's not hyperbolic at all, considering climate change, overseas wars, healthcare, and the coronavirus happening right now. Everything hangs in the balance. Our world and our country hangs in the balance, and she's dicking around on SNL. So that really tells you what she's about. But before we get into all that, this is The Hill. They have a guy who's spoken to Elizabeth Warren aides. Let's hear him out.
Have you spoken with folks in and around the campaign who can kind of lay out the rationale for why not to endorse Bernie Sanders?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've talked to a few people, and of course they're talking. They're asking to be anonymous to speak more freely. And they say this. She's not happy with Bernie Sanders. Why? He kind of stuck it to her, didn't he? Where did he go just before Super Tuesday? He went to Massachusetts, her home state. He campaigned in Boston. He campaigned in Springfield. He kind of almost seemed like he was poking at her. And his allies, some of his top surrogates, think the squad especially was saying some really difficult and tough things about Elizabeth Warren, saying it was basically time for her to get the heck out of the race. That really hurt her, I think, from at least what her campaign aides were telling me. And I think that was also a reason why she's in no rush to endorse a guy who used to be considered one of her closest friends in the.
Have you spoken?
So as you guys see there, basically it's all for like these ego reasons pretty much, which is really embarrassing. I don't even know what she's talking about the squad. I think the squad may have said like a couple of things, maybe nothing, like none of the squad have said anything directly about Elizabeth Warren. You know, if they've said something, it's sort of in a roundabout way. It was never directly anything about Elizabeth Warren. But I don't care about any of this shit. But even to debunk that, like, bro, Bernie just did a couple of campaign rallies, and, dude, obviously Bernie Sanders is running to win, right? So if you're running to win a campaign, Warren, if you want to go to Vermont, go ahead. You're not going to win. But in a campaign, you're running to win. So I don't care if it's your home state. I don't care where it is. You're running against me. I'm trying to win the election, right? So especially when you're talking about a hot spot, right? Boston is a hot spot for the election. There's a lot of progressives there, a lot of progressives in Massachusetts. So he has to go there, all right? He has to go to Massachusetts. He has to go to Boston. And so it's a really lame excuse to have, basically. But even if he was trying to stick it to her, it doesn't matter. You have to be the bigger man, okay, in that hypothetical scenario, and you have to come out and endorse Bernie Sanders if you are a progressive. It's one of the two things. It can't be both. Either you're a progressive who supports these issues, or you're not. Point blank. That's it. Either you support Medicare for all, Green New Deal, ending the wars and all this other stuff, 15 minimum wage, blah 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 blah. Either you support that shit, or you don't, and you're a corporate Democrat. So it's clear her silence has forever tainted and ruined her legacy. I never ever want to hear Elizabeth Warren ever floated as a progressive ever again in my entire life. Her silence in 2016, as well as her silence now, is deafening. Okay, and again, it tainted her legacy as a progressive, because she's not a progressive. That's what it did. It proved that she's not a progressive. She's all about Elizabeth Warren, okay, and she's also stupid. But Elizabeth Warren is just about Elizabeth Warren. That's it. That's all she cares about. Doesn't care about M4A, doesn't care about people's lives. All she cares about is Elizabeth Warren. And there was that unearthed clip from like 2017 or 2019 of her former colleague basically just completely railing into her basically. So, I guess we kind of knew this, but yeah, man, disappointing to see from Elizabeth Warren. Definitely didn't expect this, but pretty sad stuff to see. But yeah, she's completely done. I don't ever want to hear that she's a progressive ever again from literally anybody, because she's not. All right, Elizabeth Warren is terrible, and the fact that she's not talking about this is really embarrassing.